Lesson 1.5, Solving Equations with Variables on Both Sides. So we have one vocabulary term that it's important we know, and that is like terms. All right, and that's any mathematical term that either share a variable or a lack of variable. So all numbers are like terms. All constants are like terms. Any numbers that are being multiplied by a variable, so like 2y and 3y are like terms. All right, and that's because you can do an operation to combine them, right? We can add them, we can subtract them, and so we can simplify them. All right, our first concept is solving equations when we have variables on both sides. And this does not actually change what we're doing very much at all. So if there's variables on both sides, you can move them the same way you can move constants and you can move numbers, right? We've been moving our constants away from our variables and then dividing by whatever we need to get our variable isolated. Well, you can move variables the same way you move those constants, so that they can be combined. All right, so you have your like terms on the same side. So our first step is to move those variables. All right, and you can choose whichever side you want to move your variable to. I could move this negative 3x by adding 3x and add 3x to both sides, and that would get this to be canceled. But then I would have a variable and I would have a number. All right, so in general, you're going to want to move your variable that is next to your constant, or next to, if it has anything else next to it, you're going to want to move that away. All right, so we're going to subtract by 5x from both sides, and a negative 3x minus 5x is going to be a larger negative, so we're going to have a negative 8x. These will cancel, and we'll have a negative 8x equals negative 24. If you have a negative on your variable, you can multiply by negative 1, or you can just divide by whatever term you have being multiplied by your 8. So we can, to get rid of this negative 8, divide by negative 8, and divide by negative 8. And those 8's will cancel. And then we have negative 24 over negative 8. We have two negative signs, so we can turn those into positive. So we'll have an x equals, and then 24 over 8 is going to be 8 times 3 is 24. So we can simplify our fraction, divide both by 8. 8 divided by 8 and 24 divided by 8. These will equal 1, and 24 divided by 8 is 3, so x is going to equal 3. Then you'll take that 3 and you'll go back and check your answer. Okay, so I would plug in 3 into my variables, and I would have a negative 3 times 3. Negative 9, a 5 times 3, which would be a positive 15, minus 24. 15 minus 24 would be a negative 9, and we can see that they are equal, and we have found our solution.